Welcome back. You man Diamond K in here. Diamond K in the morning on the all-new radioonfire.com. Of course, today the program is sponsored by Tasty Moscato. If you could pour sexy in a glass, this would be it. This smooth, seductive Moscato wine blended with vanilla takes your palate to a whole nother level of taste me. Unlike most, Tasty Moscato can be deliciously paired with a variety of meats, cheeses, veggies, as well as desserts. It's the sweet taste of luxury that you've been craving. Tasty Moscato. Here on the program, we deliver the biggest political and trending news stories of the day with original reporting and news stories from across the country, emanating from our studios in Baltimore and Atlanta. Show is fun, show is upbeat, but I also want to expose what is really happening in this country. Radio on Fire is Black voices giving you the American story. And it is a hell of a story. A lot of things to get into. Happy Monday, by the way. So much going on in the world. And the weekends just keep getting shorter and shorter. My goodness, it's already Monday. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Hang on here. We got a lot, as I said, to get into. Pfizer has been discussing this COVID-19 vaccine booster. And what does that mean for folks that have taken the vaccine already? There has been discussion that a booster shot is going to be needed. So there's been some confusion about this. And what's causing the confusion is we're getting mixed messages. We're getting mixed messages from the vaccine creator, drug manufacturer. They're saying one thing. And then you have the government, by way of Dr. Fauci, saying something completely different. So this type of rhetoric can obviously cause confusion because they're saying two different things. Will folks need a booster shot, or will they not need a booster shot? That is the question. That is what's causing the debate. And, are you going to believe the drug manufacturer, the people that created this, or are you going to believe Dr. Fauci and all the folks that are, with him? So he's been making the rounds and saying that we don't need this, believe us. Don't believe them. We're the ones that make the determination. We don't make the vaccine, but we make the determination. Pfizer says that it plans to meet up with top U.S. health officials today to discuss this request that they're making for federal authorization of a third dose of this COVID-19 vaccine. President Biden said that, President Biden's chief medical advisor, they say that it's entirely conceivable, maybe likely, that a booster will be needed. So Pfizer said that it's scheduled to have this meeting with the FDA today. This is coming days after Pfizer asserted that the booster shot would be needed within 12 months. This had been floating around out there. This is not something new. But the fact that it's so much confusion by way of information, it's, they got some folks that are vaccine hesitant, right? And this kind of confusion gives them something to point to. So yesterday, Dr. Fauci did not rule out the possibility but said it was too soon for the government to recommend another shot. I mean, and that's fine. I guess I can understand that response. But some of his posture with regards to the vaccine kind of, he's taking his posture in some interviews like people that are not getting the vaccine, like they're dumb or something. Like he's talking down to them, right? What is it going to take? Why you're not paying attention to the science? Blah, 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 blah. And then science comes from the vaccine manufacturers, right? I mean, so in one token, he says, pay attention to the science. And then other times when the manufacturers are saying that you need a boost or potentially you need a boost, or there's a whole lot of playing with words, right? So Fauci said that the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the FDA did the right thing last week by pushing back against Pfizer's assertion that their statement that they did not view booster shots as necessary at this time. So they pushed back on this, and then obviously they're going to give in to this. I'm predicting here. They're going to give in to this and say that we need a booster shot. Then, of course, to save face, they're going to say, well, we didn't need a booster shot at that moment, but we needed a booster shot now. Whenever they approve it, they're going to say it was needed now, but it wasn't needed then. I think that there needs to be some harmony with the messages that they're presenting to the public. There has to be some harmony here. If we want to combat this, put this behind us, we need unison, and people, the American people, need to trust and understand what is being said. So Fauci said that the clinical studies and the laboratory data have yet to fully bear out the need for the booster shots. So Pfizer is basing this assertion on their own data coming out of Israel and people that had the vaccine earlier. You got some people that had the vaccine December last year. And this is making some people concerned. So this planned meeting between Pfizer and the U.S. health officials, first reported by the Washington Post. Currently, about 48% of the U.S. population is fully vaccinated. Some parts of the country have far lower immunization rates. And those places, the Delta variant is surging. So on one hand, we have this Delta variant surging. There are questions about whether or not the current vaccines are effective against the Delta variant. And Pfizer is getting ahead of this, and to me, behaving responsibly by saying we're trying to get things in order for the approval authorization for a booster shot. And then the fact that I know that the government is pushing back against this because they don't want people to panic, but their pushing back is making people panic, or potentially could make people panic. But panic, I don't know. I don't know why they're handling things like this. I think that we might be on Fauci overload right now. Dr. Fauci said it was inexplicable that some Americans are so resistant to getting the vaccine when scientific data shows how effective it is in starving off COVID-19 infections and hospitalizations. They're resistant because depending on who you look at, depending on who you listen to, you're going to get something different. I mean, I understand why Dr. Fauci doesn't understand why some people might be resistant. That's just one of the reasons why people can be resistant. So we're going to obviously get some information from these meetings between Pfizer and some U.S. officials. It's going to be interesting to see the tiptoe dance that Fauci and others would have to do You notice that he's saying possibly, maybe, quite possibly, we could need a booster shot. To me, that is setting up the stage for him to backtrack on his pushback. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. Of course, here in the program, we deliver the biggest political and trending news stories of the day with interviews and original reporting from across the country, emanating from our studios in Baltimore and Atlanta. New episodes of the program drop Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. But I don't want you to miss any of our live broadcasts. In addition to the 8 a.m. program, we drop content throughout the day. As news happens, hit that notification bell so you get an alert whenever we go live. Diamond K in the Morning is also available on the WRF Radio app. Simply download WRF Radio in your app store. You can leave me a comment, scroll your timeline, attend a Zoom meeting on mute, send an email, do some online shopping, all while listening to Diamond K in the Morning. And there are so many things that we need to get into, so many things that I have on my desk here to talk about, and we'll do that right after this. Welcome back. Your man Diamond K in here. The death toll continues to rise. It is at 90 people as families of the condo collapse. Families of the victims bonding together. Authorities said yesterday that they are making progress in this painstaking search for victims in the deadly collapse that took place in Florida last month. Miami-Dade County Mayor said yesterday that 90 deaths have now been confirmed in this collapse. Of course, you remember there's a 12-story building, Champlain Towers South in Surfside, up from 86 a day before. Among them are 71 bodies that have been identified. Families have been notified. Some 31 people remain listed as missing. This is a sad story. So this search, the mayor says, is unrelenting. They're searching among the rubble. This has resulted in the recovery of over 14 million pounds of concrete and debris. They want people to know how much stuff they are going through. The work is delicate, and they're even finding unbroken wine bottles, she said. I've said a lot about these efforts and what is taking place. The fact that they're finding unbroken wine bottles, to me, underscores the fact that if handled differently, they possibly could have found survivors had they moved faster, in my opinion. So there was a brief ceremony Saturday evening. The mayor thanked the battalion for their unrelenting dedication. Members of the task forces that have been searching the site 24 hours a day since the collapse lined both sides of the street, shaking hands and bidding farewell to the Israeli team. Authorities have concluded that there was no chance of life in the remaining rubble. You don't say. I mean, it's been 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks or so. Of course, there's no chance at this point. So it's been intense heat. Florida's intense heat. Rain, summer rain. They said that they paused only when lightning was spotted nearby. They also paused the operations as officials made plans to implode the still standing portion of the condo towers back on Independence Day. Yeah, so this has just been a sad situation. There has not been any positive news coming from this search and rescue operation. No rescuing happened, really. Sad story. The family of Breonna Taylor has filed a suit over the alleged withheld footage of her death. Breonna Taylor, it still stings over a year later. And now a new lawsuit has been filed by the family claiming that the Louisville Metro Police Department is withholding body camera footage of the death of Taylor, despite repeatedly saying that they do not have any footage in their possession. So this lawsuit has been filed by a Louisville attorney named Sam Aguilar on behalf of Breonna Taylor's family. And it says that at least 2 officers involved in the deadly no-knock warrant had a body camera that automatically activated. The camera reportedly includes a signal that could activate upon seeing police lights. Because of that, the suit argues that it would be difficult for many of the police officers with cameras not to have their cameras recording at one point or another. So the suit is asking the judge to step in and intervene in order for the PD to show any body camera footage they may have. Yeah, so this case has just been one of those things that has really been at the forefront of police reform movements. When you look at a case like this, sad situation there. And is there a cover-up? Is something going on? I guess we're going to find out. Don McKay in the morning on the all-new radioonfire.com. Welcome back. You made Don McKay in here. Don McKay in the morning is sponsored by Flyers on Fire. If you need a flyer created, Flyers on Fire can design a quality digital flyer for you in 24 hours. Are you promoting something on social media, your website, an event? Flyers on Fire can help your brand message with a quality flyer. Visit them on Instagram at Flyers on Fire. So, your man Don McKay in the morning. Happy Monday to everybody. So, I'm not sure if you've heard this story, broke last week. And, it is just one of those, it's just very disturbing. A 15 years old. So the body of this 15-year-old was found in the wall of his stepfather's home. His stepfather is a now suspended Baltimore City cop named Eric Banks Jr. These shocking details were revealed in the charging documents that were released last Thursday surrounding the suspicious death of this teenager. So the court documents show that 15-year-old Deshaun Jones, the stepson of this Baltimore City police officer, was found dead inside of a wall. Reports say that his stepfather, 34-year-old Eric Banks Jr., consented to a search of the house after police were called there for a custody dispute involving the teen's mother. So the police officers reached the loft on the top floor. They said that they saw a hole in the wall with a white cover leaning on it. Banks allegedly told the officers it was a gun safe, but when they checked, they found the body of a 15-year-old and immediately put Banks in custody. All right, so they cuffed him at this point. And neighbors reported that they heard the mom crying, and that cry, and they just knew that something had happened to her kid. Court documents say that Banks pleaded to kiss his kids after being cuffed. He then tried to grab an officer's gun and told him they would have to end this. Yeah, this is just a terrible case here. They're calling the teen's death suspicious, but would not say how he died or if there was any foul play. There appeared to be something going on with the couple, and there needed to be some space between them. One of the officers said, an autopsy will determine the cause of this teen's death. I mean, this is just beyond me. The officer, Banks, the police officer suspended, Baltimore police officer, had been with the force for 3 years, now suspended without pay. Commissioner Michael Harrison said Banks' police powers had already been suspended over a prior incident. Yeah, so a GoFundMe was open for Deshaun's mother. And so looking at that page, it is, they have just reached their goal. And so Kayla Wright is organizing this fundraiser on behalf of Latrice Banks. And she is a classmate, former classmate of the young victim. So they were trying to raise $10,000. It seems that they've raised $10,260. So we're going to go ahead and share that. I'm going to read you the GoFundMe. GoFundMe says, "Hi, my name is Kayla. I went to school with Deshaun. He had such a good soul, and it is such a tragedy that he had to leave us so soon and so young. I'm creating this to help his family and his mother through this hard time. This is for his funeral expenses and extra cash for his family. I have used the platform I have to bring awareness to this tragedy and hope to raise the money to help as much as I and we can. Thank you. Justice will be served and you will finally be in peace," she said. So that is the GoFundMe for 15-year-old Deshaun. As I said, so he was body found in the wall of his stepfather. Eric Banks Jr., suspended Baltimore City police officer. Wow. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. Welcome back. Diamond K in the morning on the allnewradioonfire.com. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in. So, there's all kind of stuff going on. The Atlanta Falcons have ended the contract of a player, Markevius He was arrested. He was a top pick. Arrested on child indecency charges in Texas. Now, of course, he is denying that he did anything wrong. But based on these charges, this is a minor that's involved. Markevius Mingo, the attorney, scolds Atlanta Falcons for releasing this linebacker following this arrest. So he has been arrested. These are serious charges. He was released by the team over the weekend after the Falcons were made aware of his Thursday arrest on a second-degree felony charge. So according to court records, he was released on $25,000 bond on Friday. The charge carries a maximum penalty of 20 years in prison under Texas state law, according to the state penal code. Indecency with a child sexual contact relates to engaging in sexual contact with someone younger than 17 years of age or causing the child to engage in sexual contact. So the attorney for this now former Falcon said that his client will be fully vindicated when the truth comes to light. When that happens, true motivations of the accuser will be clear and unambiguous. Mingo signed a one-year contract with the Falcons in the spring. The 2013 first-round pick by the Cleveland Browns has bounced around the NFL since being traded to the Patriots in 2016, playing for 5 different teams over the past 5 seasons, including the Chicago Bears in 2020. I don't know how he's going to get this stench off of him. What team is going to touch him? I don't know. I don't know what team's going to touch him. It's unfortunate. Either way, this is unfortunate. No matter how you look at it, this is a sad situation. Don McKay in the morning, allnewradioonfire.com. Thank you for tuning in. Over the weekend, Robert E. Lee statue removed in Charlottesville, Virginia. This Confederate monument helped spark a violent white supremacist rally in Charlottesville. Of course, everybody remembers that. Nearly 4 years ago. It has been taken down. The statue of that piece of crap, Robert E. Lee. Work to remove this statue began early Saturday. The Charlottesville Mayor Walker, gave a speech in front of reporters and observers as the crane neared the monument. So removal of this Confederate statue obviously follows years of contention, community anguish, and litigation. A long, winding legal fight coupled with changes in a state law that protected war memorials had held up removal for years. So that is finally gone. Most recent removal focused on the Lee Monument. This began back in 2016, thanks in part to a petition signed by a black high school student. And a lawsuit was quickly filed, putting the city's plans on hold. And white supremacists seized on the issue. And things, of course, have been snowballing from there. Crews also expected to take down a second Confederate monument for another piece of crap, Stonewall Jackson, another Confederate general. So the city announced its plans to hoist that statue away on Friday. There wasn't a lot of resistance to these statues being taken down. And hopefully all around the country, remnants of these statues, they belong in a museum, but not public spaces outside like it's something to be proud of. The Confederates were traitors to this nation. These images belong in a museum. That's it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. The very classless and losing streak Conor McGregor suffered a gruesome leg injury at UFC 264. He sat and he was mad after his fight. Temporary cast placed on his left shin and foot. The big star in mixed martial arts was convinced he had been robbed. He had been robbed of revenge. He was fighting Dustin, and it's just one of those things. Karma is one of those things. Karma is one of those things. There was a lot of animosity going into this MMA fight. This is a trilogy. It's ended, at least for now. Another victory for the very mild-mannered Dustin. Dustin beat Conor for the second time in 6 months when McGregor was unable to continue after the first round on Saturday night. McGregor, who talks all this trash, Conor McGregor, but he is 22-6, fell to the canvas and never got up after a punch. So, I guess, is this the end? Are we going to still hear more crap from Conor McGregor? Probably. Dustin, who is 28-6, is going to get the UFC's next lightweight title shot. McGregor's leg and ankle buckled when he stepped back from a blow. And, Dustin finished the round raining down blows on the former two-division UFC champion, Conor McGregor. McGregor, who threatened Dustin's life many times, said that he was going to be carried off in a stretcher. Actually, Conor McGregor was the one carried off in a stretcher after losing this match in Las Vegas. UFC President Dana White said that McGregor broke his shin near the ankle. I don't know how you're not going to be the same coming back from an injury like that. McGregor had surgery yesterday. Dustin said that he thought McGregor's leg broke when he checked one of his kicks early in the fight. McGregor disagreed, saying there was not one check. You never want to get a win that way. But what happened was the result of checking a kick. Dustin said he's sure of that. He said that he got what was coming to him. McGregor dropped to 1-3 in the cage since 2016 when he abdicated his UFC title reigns and accepted the very lucrative fight against Floyd Mayweather. Remember that. He lost that fight too. McGregor has been unable to recapture his fearsome form over the past half a decade, despite his protested. There was little in the first round to suggest that McGregor was back in elite form. He needs to hang it up and he needs to shut up. Reminds me of somebody else. I mean, even after the fight's over, clearly lost, legs broke, shins broke, whatever. Still acting like it's some kind of conspiracy against him. Reminds me of somebody else that we've heard of. Donald Trump. Donald Trump was in the audience at UFC. And, you know, there were cheers and boos, USA chants and all that. Conor McGregor and Donald Trump. Very similar. Very similar indeed. You made Diamond K in the morning on the allnewradioandfire.com. Of course, get breaking news, adult conversations covering topics that are important to the black culture. Visit radioandfire.com for our original podcast, TV, radio programs. You want to support Diamond K in the morning? Very easy to do that. I'm able to deliver our news and our views on the show because of our listeners, sponsors, and of course your donations. Diamond K in the morning is powered by the people, and we need and love your support. Visit radioonfire.com to make a donation. Absolutely. I will be back tomorrow. As always, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Absolutely. I can't leave without saying that. My new project, Bernice Avenue, available now on all digital outlets wherever you get your music. Search Diamond K, Bernice Avenue. Project is out there now. All right. I'm going to get out of here.